Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be rounding out the Wave 2 Deluxes with Airazor. This is the new Kingdom Airazor, and I'm telling you now, if there's only one offering that you get from the entire War for Cybertron, like, trilogy, selection, Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, everything, through all of it, if there's only one you're going to get, it should really be Airazor. And I'm about to tell you why in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, and all of my social media links, all of those down in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. A whole bunch of stuff. Bunch of new lines recently went up on Teespring, and this is Airazor, and I just made a big claim at the beginning of this saying that if there's only one that you're going to make it Airazor. She is fantastic. Now, that being said, I suppose I should say if you're only going to get one deluxe, because, you know, Cyclonus was a thing that happened, and he's amazing. But she's astonishingly good. We're going to see her compared to my KO version, which has served me well, but you're going to see that there's not much comparison. She is a bit light for a deluxe, but I'm telling you now that when we get into looking at the finer details, everything else that's done here is done so stupendously well. So, enough of me glowing and gloating. How about we head over to the table and take a closer look at her? And so here we have the wonderful Airazor from the Kingdom line, of course. This is a Wave 2 Deluxe, and before we look at her and everything about her that is astonishingly well done, and I mean astonishingly well done. It's not off, not gosh, but this is going to be one of them. But before any of that, we're going to start off and look at the packaging first. And here we have the box and a beautiful picture of Airazor over here on the side, and her in her Falcon mode. I always thought it was a hawk, but okay, Falcon, whatever. Typical over there. On the back, of course, we have the product images. It is typical packaging. It's kind of nice, though. We got us some nice Kingdom instructions, and it's funny, like, these are pretty good instructions, but, like, they kind of show all of the unfurling that you have to do of the wings, and it's like, yeah, just unfold the things. There you go. You'll be good. It'll be fine. Oh, we got a card for Dinobot, and this time, when we pull it down, it's like Dinobot in battle, I guess. Ooh, we've also got two of these arm rocket things. It's obviously done in this, like, grayish-brown plastic and all painted in this glorious, beautiful metallic gold. Now, out of package, she's a little bit mistransformed. Her backpack is kind of like this. This might not be exactly correct because I haven't had her in package now in a while. But sort of like this, so you do need to kind of set things up. Now, if you wish, you could leave her backpack completely compressed in this sort of fashion. That's up to you. But by rights, we're going to fold this out, and then we're going to fold this one out. And really by rights, see if I can find this now. Yeah, what you should do is have it going back straight, fold it in, back straight, and fold it out again, and then down. So this one over here, we fold up, in, and out like that. So you can sort of see the way it's supposed to be up right there. And so here she is in her absolutely gorgeous robot mode. Now, I just want to get a couple of caveats here out of the way. I am going to refer to her with the pronouns, you know, she and her, because I grew up with the North American cartoon, and in that, Airazor is a female character. That's the way I know her. I know that there is some debate over her gender, depending on the fiction and where it comes from, but to me, Airazor has always been female, so I'm still gonna count her as female. Second caveat to kind of discuss, she only clocks in at 57 grams. Now, she's not as egregious as, for example, Black Arachnia, but she's definitely much too small for a traditional deluxe. So, that being said, everything else that she does, her transformation, her paint, and her articulation are gonna have to be off the charts if it's gonna make up for that much loss of plastic. Now, the argument could also be made, Airazor is a more slender, svelte character, that's why the mass is smaller, much like the case with RC. And I get that. But if that's the case, if you're giving up that value in one place, let's see how well it's made up in another place. Here she is, next to the Airazor in my collection. This is a $3 Canadian KO, and let's just put those wings back out of the way. And I don't know if this. I don't think she's going to stand up with her wing. I don't think she's going to stand up with her wings back because it's a $3 KO. Oh, this doesn't feel good. Let's see if I can get her stood up. There you go, kinda. Right now that's the best I can get her to stand. Look, for $3, like, it was a fine Airazor, but, like, let's be realistic. There's zero comparison here. And here she is with the original Beast Wars Tigatron. Mine, of course, has had some custom paint work done on it. Comparable in size, certainly. I know we have a Tigatron up and coming within the Kingdom line, but for now, this is kind of that matchup. The KO Airazor, I looked at in episode 319 a long time ago. And our beautiful boy Tigatron here, my custom Tigatron, I looked at in episode 476. Okay, so it's time for us to get into some scores. First things first, the molded in detail here is amazing, especially on the wings, and the wings are full of hinges. We'll see that when we get in Falcon mode. There's paint like on the bird face and under the chin. On her head here, I think it's the grayish browny plastic, but the beak is painted that goldy color, the orange is painted, her face is painted. We'll see her face up close in a few moments. I think the upper shoulders are also painted, like what's covered by her, kind of covered by her shoulder pads. If it's not painted, it sure looks painted. The thighs are painted. I don't think the lower legs are. I don't think the feet are. I think that might be it for paint, but like there's a lot of it there, man. And what isn't painted has molded in detail. Comparison to like the actual Airazor, her talons could be silver for bird mode, I suppose. Besides that, I don't know, man. I think it's pretty. Maybe the top edge of the wings could have had like a bit of a beigey color, but like this looks Falcon-ish to me. I don't know what else you could want with Airazor. I honestly don't. 10 plus. There's nothing about this look to not like. What about the articulation? We're starting out with the highest mark that we could possibly give. What about the articulation? Like I said, there's a fair amount in Falcon mode. The mouth does open. Apparently, though, it's extremely tight. I have not even gotten my mouth on my Falcon head to open. The legs are poseable there for like flying and perching. The wings are highly articulated, so the Falcon is really articulated considering how stoic these beast modes usually are. In robot mode, we have a head that can go left and right, up and down. We have arms, they can go all the way around, out to the side. The shoulder pad can move 90 or slightly over 90 at the elbow. Bicep swivel. I assume no wrist. Yeah, no. I don't think there's a wrist, or if it is, I can't get it to move, not now. We have a free-flowing waist, legs all the way forward, legs all the way back, thigh, not really a thigh swivel, like I don't know what you call it. It's a thigh swivel, but like instead of going down from the hip, because the hip is on a hinge, it's built up from the knee, so it's more like an above the knee swivel. But it works. It's definitely there, and it doesn't break the sculpt. Super amazingly deep knee. The feet can move all around and left and right and down and up and everything on the ball joints that they're on. Really amazing articulation. Like, I mean, you can get a pose like this. Or this. Or this. And she stands super stable in any of these stances. And there's a close-up look of that gorgeously painted head sculpt. By the way, because of transformation, her wrists actually like fold in. I forgot to show that, but they don't rotate. That not that. Like I said, if they do, they don't on mine. What she does so tremendously well. She's missing the wrist swivel. I'm gonna have to say 9.75. Right now we've come to expect that with deluxes. So it's a shame that it's not there, and with the mask on, I think you could have included it. But that being said, I am beyond smitten with her, and thinking of her in terms of how much I've been enjoying posing her and like fiddling with the limbs and whatnot, and the free range of motion. I mean, I would say it's a 10 billion. Subjectively speaking, but objectively speaking, I have to give it a knock because it doesn't have a wrist swivel, and we have come to note it. So with a pretty much perfect score for her paint, the articulation I got to give about a 9.75 to. Honestly, she is super solid. Anytime I've ever planted her down on a table or a desk or on anything, she stays there. She does not just tip over. Super duper solid. Really, really impressive. So like I said, subjectively, absolutely loving it. Objectively, I gotta have a little bit of a knock. What about the transformation? Well, the transformation is actually pretty involved and pretty interesting for this deluxe offering. So we're gonna pick the back off, and we begin really by kind of lifting the body up and rotating the head. It is a tight fit, and what the head is on there feels like a tight hinge. If you want, you could do this weird like falcon-headed robot mode. Like that's an actual like thing that you can do if you want. Turning this around and bringing it to the back, however, when we bring this up, there's a little tab here, and there's tabs on the side that are kind of rectangular blocks that go in behind these orange shoulder sections. So they tab in there, and this other tab now should collapse down into right there. We take the wings and we open them all the way out. We bring up the tail piece and rotate the waist around, and you can bring the tail piece back down if you are inclined. Bring the shoulder pieces down on the side. Then you want to, okay, this is where things get a little interesting. So you want to take the wrists, I guess, or the arms, and you want to fold them and then fold the wrists in, and now they're going to kind of come like in here and sort of tab in underneath there on the body. We'll do the same over here. We bring it in and we fold that wrist up, we rotate it, and we bring that in here in the body, and then we kind of solidify the bird body. We can take these off of the arms now and make sure they're in there. They do tab in. There are a couple of little tabs in there that they do tab in over. If you push them in though, they'll pretty much go into the right place. I probably don't have them tabbed in here now perfect, but I'll clean that up in a few minutes. It's because it's, you know, just a little far away to see on camera. Then we take the legs, and there's tabs here on the side, so we're going to bring the leg out and up, and then when you bring it up, you should be able to rotate at the knee. We're going to tab that in over and rotate this around and then bend at that little piece. So the leg is kind of up on the side like that. Obviously I'm going to have to like clean this up and tab it in properly, but rotate at the hip, rotate at the knee, bend the knee down, bring that up on the side, bend that out, rotate the foot around. So you're just able to bend and swivel hinges here to get the falcon legs kind of in the orientation you want them in. Then you take the missile pod piece thingies, they go on the thigh there, and on the thigh over here, and in the end, oh, and I guess you put the tail down. In the end, basically, here you have the Falcon mode. I obviously need to solidify a whole bunch of tabs and stuff, so I'm going to do that, and then we will take a look at this. I just wanted to point this out before I lay her down. To open the beak, there's actually a little tab on the bottom of the beak, so if you push down on that, you'll get the beak open, but it's pretty tight. A lot of people try to do it from the side and wedge something in there, but you might scratch the paint that way, so this is definitely the safer route. Here are both Falcon modes from front on, but the real telling picture is from back on, naturally. While I respect what was accomplished here for $3, again, there's no comparison really, right? I love this. It's clean, and while technically I guess it's a robot mashed up underneath, everything is hidden so well that it doesn't feel like a robot mashed up underneath. So the look, I think, is again great. The transformation here, I think, is clever, fun, interesting enough to not be boring. A lot of moving parts. A lot of it is the legs having to rotate around in different directions, but I mean, you'll figure it out easy enough. The arms, they don't do a lot, but they do tuck away nicely, and I'm fine with it. And the way the knees bend up so much, it kind of really brings the legs together. And you sort of hide the thigh if you put the missile pod pieces kind of on the back there. So, transformation, everything works the way it should. 10, everything feels good, it feels solid, everything moves well. The only thing, like I said before, I think, and if I didn't say it before, I'll say it now, worth noting is that when you rotate the head, her robot head is a bit of a tight fit in the body cavity. And the first couple of times I did it, it felt like, man, I might break this, but it's just a fairly, it's like a heavy soft ratchet, if that makes sense, or at least that's the way it feels on mine. I have no fears of anything happening. After doing it a couple of times, it works just fine now. In terms of like articulation, the head goes left and right. It can look down and up. The beak opens and closes. There's a hinge in here, a hinge here, a hinge here. This goes up and down. So the wings can go, you know, right down on her side for like landing poses, or like back like this if you want, or, you know, even if you wanted both wings over here, like, I don't know, she's turning in the air, so I don't know how falcons turn in the air, but like, you get the idea. The wings can do everything. We have the waist swivel still. We have the feet still able to do everything that they always could, and if you bring the leg down just a touch, of course we do have the, technically the knee because of that hinge there, but if you bring the leg down just a touch, you can also utilize the swivel that's just above the knee. It's like they designed that swivel to be usable not only in robot mode, but deliberately in this mode. That's why they engineered it from the knee up instead of from the hip down. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, subjectively speaking, the only knock that I can give Airazor is I wish she had wrist swivel. She's a 10, a 9.75. She's a 9.8, 9.9. Subjectively, she's a 10 billion. I think she's fantastic. If there's only one offering that you get from all of the War for Cybertron trilogy, the whole series, get Airazor. She's that good. Even though her mass is light, every single other thing, from paint to materials used, to the feel of hinges, to the swivels, to the range of motion, to the articulation, to the solidity on her feet, to the interesting engineering for transformation, to the molded in detail, everything else is done at such a high, tremendously high level that it's hard to knock her down for the extremely minor gripes about her. She is that good, and you guys know that I don't tend to gush very often, and I'm telling you, she is beautiful. She is stupendous. And here we are once again. Here she is, and like I said, she's a little light for a deluxe at 57 grams, but the paint detailing, the molding with all of the detailing in it, the clever transformation that's simple but involved enough to be interesting and allows for there to be a wide range of motion in the bird mode and in the robot mode. The small things, like let's build her thigh swivel around her knee so it's functional in bird mode rather than up in the hip. Let's make the hip a hinge and swivel. The range of motion is astonishing. The talons, maybe. Wrist swivel, maybe. But she is beautiful in both modes. She, for as small as she is, she has a presence and a look and a stature that is undeniable and inexplicable. Starscream Wife is a perfect example. She's never been a huge fan of Transformers that turn into beasts and animals and whatnot. She's always said they should be, robots that turn into vehicles and, whatnot. But even when she saw Airazor, she had to admit that she's beautiful. And that's the word she used. She said, she's beautiful. And you know what? She is absolutely beautiful. It's just a bonus that when it comes to articulation and transformation, she functions amazingly well as well. Let me know what you think about Airazor. Obviously, I'm quite smitten with her. I appreciate you guys coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. A lot of lines available. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member, baby. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe button, and that somehow, someway, each and every single day you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.